Vanakkam, the monthly news bulletin of Yarl Marai TV. News editor Reverend Father Anton Stephen. I am DILANI Edward Nathan.
I am Kingsley Roniston.
First, the headlines. 31st anniversary of St. James Church bombing in Gurunagar, marked with memorial service.
Maveerar Day commemorated with reverence amid heavy rainfall.
Marainathi Catholic Media Centre celebrates 3 years of service and achievement.
Reverend Father Gnanamuththu Pilendran honored with prestigious Sahitya Award.
Diamond Jubilee inauguration of the Centre for Performing Arts celebrated with grandeur.
St. Martin's Minor Seminary celebrate annual feast and reopening after renovation.
Jaffna hosts book launch of Marainathi Yarl by Reverend Father Selvaratnam.
St. Theresa Church Consecration marks Renewal of Faith and Unity in Kilinochchi.
Exhibition set lights on land rights struggles of displaced communities in Sri Lanka's north and east. Now the news in detail. The 31st anniversary of the tragic bombing of St. James Church in Gurunagar, Jaffna, carried out by the Sri Lankan Air Force, was observed on November 13th with a remembrance service. The event was an occasion to remember and pray for the victims who lost their lives in the bombing on that fateful day in 1993. The service held at St. James Church was led by Reverend Father Canisius Raj, who celebrated a special memorial mass to honor the deceased. Following the mass, floral tributes were offered to commemorate the victims of the brutal airstrike. On that day in 1993, the Sri Lankan Air Force launched an indiscriminate airstrike using K-5 jets directly targeting the church. The attack claimed the lives of 9 civilians, including worshippers and others who had sought refuge inside the church to escape the bombing. Many others were injured, leaving the local communities devastated and in profound grief.
Maveerar Day events held on November 27 were observed with deep reverence across Tamil homelands and in diaspora communities, commemorating the sacrifice of Tamil freedom fighters who dedicated their lives to the rights and struggle of the Tamil people.
The Jaffna Diocesan Marainathi Catholic Media Centre marked its 3rd anniversary on December 5th with a special celebration at the Media Centre led by its director, Reverend Father Anton Stephen. Certificates were awarded to participants of the Lenten Pasam competition conducted via WhatsApp, and prizes were presented to winners of the weekly question and answer competition. A major highlight of the event was the release of the Media Centre's anthem, symbolizing 3 successful years of service. Reverend Father Selvaratnam, Vicar General of the Diocese of Jaffna, served as the chief guest and released the anthem. The lyrics and music were composed by Reverend Father Dayaharan, the director of the Jaffna Diocesan Liturgy Commission and the parish priest of Karampan, with musical arrangements by Mr. Joseph Anthony Jesudas. The event also included a recognition ceremony to honor individuals who have supported the Media Centre's mission. Special guest Mr. Renewal, branch manager of the Bank of Sloan Main Street branch, joined priests, religious sisters and members of the public to mark the occasion.
The Centre for Performing Arts CPA marked the inauguration of its Diamond Jubilee alongside CPA Day on December 3rd with a series of significant events held in Jaffna.
The celebration began with the Holy Mass presided over by Reverend Father Paul Nachatram, OMI, at the Kilinochchi Meditation Hall. Following the Mass, a CPA flag was ceremonially hoisted in front of the main office, and a blood donation camp was conducted at the Kalithudu Mani Mandapam. In the evening, special programs honoring the historic occasion were held at the Kalithudu Kalayagam. The event led by Mr. Johnson Rajkumar, Deputy Director of CPA, featured the formal inauguration of the Diamond Jubilee, the recognition of a distinguished artist, and a vibrant array of historical performance. Highlights of the celebration included a play titled Nanjunda Khandan, performed by CP artist, and a historical Kuthu presentation, Vinnakaveeran, depicting the life of Archangel Saint Michael. The Kuthu, scripted by Mr. Johnson Rajkumar and directed by Mr. Andrew Julius, was performed as Vadamodi Nattu Kuthu. The event was honoured by the presence of Mr. Nagalingam Vedanayakan, the governor of the Northern Province, as the chief guest, alongside Mr. Sambasivam Sudarsan, Divisional Secretariat of Jaffna, as the special guest. The celebration were further enriched by the participation of clergy, religious sisters, CPM members and administrative officials, marking the significance of the milestone in the organization history.
The State Literary Award ceremony, organized by the National Literary Advisory Council under the guidance of the Department of Cultural Affairs of Sri Lanka, was held on November 27th at Temple Trees in Colombo. Awards were presented to authors of books published in 2023, recognizing their literary contributions across various categories, including novels, short story collection, poetry, drama, children's literature, scholarly and research works, diverse literary genres, youth literature, literary criticism, songwriting, science fiction, and translation of novels and short stories. In a notable achievement, Reverend Father Gnanamuththu Pilendran was honoured with a prestigious Sahitya Award for Best Scholarly Work for his book, Kilinochchi Kalathil Ilangayil Katholikam, Christianity in Sri Lanka during the Portuguese rule. This book was recognized as the best scholarly and research-based work of 2023. Notably, it is the first comprehensive scholarly work published on the subject of Catholicism during the Portuguese colonial period in Sri Lanka.
On November 10th, St. Martin's Minor Seminary in Jaffna held its annual feast and reopening ceremony following extensive renovations.
The event, guided by Reverend Father Selvaratnam, director of the seminary, was graced by Right Reverend Dr. Justin Gnanapragazam, Bishop of Jaffna, who blessed the newly renovated seminary and celebrated the Mass at the seminary chapel. The day included cultural events such as the release of the 16th edition of the seminary handwritten magazine, Thenarambu, and performance of the play, True Love of Life and The Mastermaid. The evening concluded with friendly games between priests and the seminarians. St. Martin's Minor Seminary has been a cornerstone of the Jaffna Diocese for 150 years, significantly contributing to the spiritual formation of the priest. Over the years, it has nurtured countless priests and religious brothers and continues to serve as a beacon of faith and learning. St. Martin's Minor Seminary, a key institution for the formation of the priest for over 150 years, was fully renovated with the financial support from the Bishop of Jaffna, arranged through Vatican funding during the directorship of Reverend Father A.J.A. Jeranjan. This renovation ensures the seminary's continued legacy and a mission in shaping future generation of priests.
The book launch of Marainathi Padai Maatiyavar Yaro, written by Reverend Father Selvaratnam of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate Congregation, took place on November 15th at Kalaithudu Kalayaham, Jaffna. The event was led by Reverend Father Anburasa of OMI Congregation and the director of the Mangulam Welfare Center. Right Reverend Dr. Justin Gnanapragasam, the Bishop of the Diocese of Jaffna, was the chief guest and formally launched the book. The book review was presented by Reverend Father Jabaratnam, the Vicar General of the Diocese of Jaffna, alongside Mrs. Kohila Mahendran, a writer and counsellor, and Professor Sivakolundu Sri Sadguna Raja, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jaffna. Reverend Father Jayanthan Pachek, the Provincial Superior of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate Congregation, and Reverend Sister Theophine Grus, the Provincial Superior of the Holy Family Sisters Congregation, were honoured guests at the event. The book explores Reverend Father Selvaratnam's life story, weaving together spiritual and psychological reflection with valuable lessons from his personal journey. It concludes with profound reflection on the spiritual aspects of his life, offering an insightful analysis of universal spirituality.
A biblical conference organized by the Claristian Biblical Ministry was held on December 7 at the Ahavali Family Services Center Auditorium in the Jaffna Diocese.
Themed Prayer in the Bible. The event aimed to deepen the faith of the laity and foster spiritual growth. The conference was led by Reverend Father Ronald Sujeevan, the director of the Claristian Biblical Ministry. Notable speakers included Reverend Father Alvin Fernando, the Vicar General of the Kandy Diocese and lecturer in Biblical Studies at the National Seminary of Our Lady of Lanka in MBTA Kandy. Reverend Father Thevarajan Piris from the Claristian congregation. Reverend Father Udayadas Arulanandam, a priest from Colombo Diocese. The sessions featured insightful presentation on topics such as prayer in the Bible, the prayer taught by Jesus, and the practical life of biblical prayer, offering the laity practical and theological perspective on the role of prayer in Scripture. The conference was attended by many priests, religious brothers and sisters, parish representatives, and members of the laity who actively engaged in enriching discussion and faith-filled sessions.
The consecration ceremony of St. Theresa Church Kilinochchi was held on October 27th with great devotion and participation. The event was organized by Reverend Father Sylvester Das, the parish priest, and assisted by Reverend Father Raj Dilakshan. The ceremony was presided over by Right Reverend Dr. Justin Gnanapragasam, Bishop of the Diocese of Jaffna, who solemnly consecrated the church and led the Holy Mass. The event was attended by several distinguished clergy, including Reverend Father Bennett, Dean of Kilinochchi Deanery, and Reverend Father Anthony Pillai, Dean of Mullaitivu Deanery, along with other priests, religious brothers and sisters, and a large gathering of the faithful. St. Theresa Church has a rich history dating back to the 1930s when it was first established as a small kotel. The church was later expanded into a full-fledged structure under the visionary leadership of Reverend Father Joseph Susainather of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate Congregation. Over the years, it has served as a sanctuary for the local community, including providing refuge to those displaced during the civil conflict in Kilinochchi area. The rebuilding of St. Theresa Church into a modern place of worship began in 2006 during the tenure of Right Reverend Dr. Thomas Soundaranayagam, the former Bishop of Jaffna. Under the leadership of then parish priest Reverend Father Bennett, and with the support of the Vicar General Reverend Father Nicholas, the foundation stone was laid, marking the start of the construction. The project saw significant progress under the guidance of Reverend Father Jarvis and continued to advance during the tenure of Reverend Father George, who oversaw much of construction work. Additional renovations were undertaken during the period of Reverend Father Jesudas, further enhancing the church structure. Under the guidance of Reverend Father Sylvester Das, the church has undergone its final phase of restoration, culminating in a solemn consecration ceremony that marked the church renewal as a spiritual beacon for the community. The newly consecrated St. Theresa Church now stands as a profound symbol of hope, faith and resilience for the people of Kilinochchi, reflecting their enduring spirit and unity.
The Living Faith Symposium, held at the National Seminary of Our Lady of Lanka in Kandy on October 31st, addressed the theme, The Relevance of Religious Faith in a Secularized Society in Sri Lanka.
The event brought together religious leaders, scholars, and students to explore the relationship between religion and secularism in a contemporary society. In his opening address, Right Reverend Dr. Valence Mendes, Bishop of the Diocese of Kandy, emphasized the religious communities should not simply observe the changing dynamic of secular society, but must actively engage with it. He called for a proactive involvement of faith communities in shaping and influencing societal values, ensuring that religion remains relevant in modern world. He encouraged religious leaders and communities to actively promote justice and peace, work alongside civil society, assist marginalized and impoverished groups, and advocate for ethical education and technology to benefit society as a whole. Following Bishop's address, keynote speakers Professor Mallika Rajaratnam and Reverend Professor Paul Rohan shared their insights on the theme. Additionally, 20 researchers presented their findings in 5 parallel sessions. Among the participants were 3 priests and seminarians from the Diocese of Jaffna.
Reverend Father Luis Ignacio Ruiz Alonso, the Director General of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate Congregation, visited Sri Lanka on October 14th. During his visit, he toured various ministries and missions led by the Oblates across the country and actively participated in several special events organized in his honor. During his visit to Jaffna province, Father Luis Ignacio Ruiz Alonso toured several OMI-run parishes, including those in Mullaithivu, Kokkolai, Kilinochchi Akkarayan, Trinkamali Irudayapuram, and Mannar Kanaharayan Kulam, Tachana Marudamadu, and Andavuniyarpura. His visit also included significant religious and educational institutions such as Our Lady of Good Voyage Church in Chatti, St. Patrick's College, St. Mary's Cathedral Cemetery in Jaffna, Teaching Hospital Jaffna, and the Amaidi Karangal Wellness Center for Amputees in Mullaithivu. He further visited the Malaram Mullai Educational Institution in Ottuchuttan, Mullaithivu, Vavuniya Amaidiyaham, the Nesa Karangal Center in Gnanamuththu, the Amadithantal Animation Center in Unnapulavu, Annailam Educational Center in Kilinochchi, Amadikalam Educational Center in Kokkolai, and Anbaham in Mulangaville, Kilinochchi. Additionally, Father Luis Alonso visited Pesalai St. Fatima Mada Mahavidyalayam in Mannar, the Center for Rehabilitation of Alcohol and Drug Addicts at Thottawali, Mannar, Gnanamuththu Pre-Novitiate Community in Mannar, and Amaludayam Community in Trinkamali. At each location, he engaged in discussion with clergy, religious brothers and sisters, and local communities. On October 27th, Father Luis Ignacio Ruiz Alonso visited the Center for Peace and Reconciliation and Psychological Counseling in Kanahapuram, Kilinochchi. During his visit, he met with interfaith leaders, representatives from civil organizations, and groups supporting the disappeared, engaging in meaningful discussion on peace building and reconciliation. On October 28th, Father Luis Ignacio Ruiz Alonso met with Right Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Fernando, Bishop of Mannar. The following day, on October 29th, he met with Right Reverend Dr. Justin Gnanapragasam, Bishop of Jaffna, and later attended the perpetual vow ceremony of brothers Rohan Pires, Anton Reginald, and Christine Cruz at the D. Messenger Chapel in Kolumbuturai. On October 30th, Father Luis Ignacio Ruiz Alonso, Director General of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate, engaged in discussion with OMI priests at Thodadbaha. The following day, on October 31st, he attended the ordination ceremony of new OMI brothers at St. Mary's Cathedral in Jaffna. Father Ruiz Alonso concluded his visit and returning to his home country on November 2nd.
On November 2nd, a day dedicated to remembering and praying for the departed souls, the faithful across various parishes in the Jaffna Diocese observed the occasion with reverence. People visited cemeteries, participated in masses, and offered prayers for the deceased. At St. Mary's Cathedral Cemetery, a special mass was celebrated by Reverend Father Selvaratnam, the Vicar General of the Diocese of Jaffna. During his sermon, Reverend Father Jero Selvanayagam, the Dean of the Jaffna Deanery, and the parish priest of Cathedral, emphasized the sacredness of the cemetery. He called on the faithful to ensure the site remains free from crime or misuse, and urged collective efforts to preserve its cleanliness and sanctity. In addition, Father Jero Selvanayagam announced the installation of a name plate at the cemetery entrance, officially naming it St. Mary's Garden of Eternal Life. A statue of the resurrected Christ was also placed in the cemetery as a symbol of eternal life. The Mass was attended by priests, religious brothers and sisters, seminarians, and numerous lay people, all united in prayer for the souls of the departed.
The ordination ceremony for the new priest of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate Congregation was held on October 31st at St. Mary's Cathedral, Jaffna. The ceremony was presided over by Right Reverend Dr. Justin Gnanapragasam, the Bishop of the Diocese of Jaffna. During the Eucharistic celebration, Reverend Brother Claude Marino and Reverend Brother Delusion Pumal were ordained as priests. The event was graced by the presence of Reverend Father Luis Ignacio Ruiz Alonso, the Superior General of the Oblates of Mary Immaculate Congregation, along with several priests, religious brothers and sisters, the families of the ordains, and numerous faithful.
An exhibition on the land rights and the struggle of displaced communities in Sri Lanka's northern and eastern province took place on November 6th at the Kalam Cultural Encounter Space in Jaffna. Titled The People's Connection with the Land, the event, organized by the Sri Lankan Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, explored the ongoing land disputes and the challenges faced by families seeking to reclaim their land after the civil conflict. The exhibition featured artworks by artist Jasmine Nilani Joseph, including installations symbolizing the struggles of families in Vaunia and Mannar who face long waits in Divisional Secretariat office with unanswered petitions. The event also included a screening of Ini Nilam, a film by Sri Lankan director Anoma Rajakaruna, which addressed the complexities of land ownership and displacement. Through this exhibition, the ongoing challenges faced by displaced communities were highlighted, bringing attention to the intersection of art activism and post-conflict reconciliation.
A special event organized by the Jaffna Catholic Doctors Guild, a branch of the Jaffna Diocesan Laity Commission, was held at St. Mary's Cathedral, Jaffna on November 17th. The event was led by Reverend Father Maulis, the director of the Diocesan Laity Commission, and chaired by Dr. Dhanendran, the president of the guild. The event began with a Holy Mass presided over by Reverend Father Selvaratnam, the Vicar General of the Diocese of Jaffna. Following the Mass, a series of cultural performances were held in the Cathedral Auditorium. The gathering brought together doctors, their families, and members of the Laity Commission, creating a spirit of community and celebration.
Applications are now open for the 2025 academic year at Jaffna Diocesan St. Joseph's Tamil Theological College. Prospective students can obtain applications form directly from the college or through the Ahavali Family Services Center located at St. Patrick's Road, Jaffna. Students who have completed the GCE Advanced Level Examination are eligible to apply. The completed applications form, along with a letter of recommendation from the parish priest and photocopies of the GCE Ordinary Level and Advanced Level Examination results, must be submitted by the end of this year. The deadline and instructions were provided by Reverend Father David, the college director. The college, affiliated with the Pontifical Urbaniana University in Rome, offers courses that pave the way for undergraduate and postgraduate studies, as well as enhancing future employment opportunities.
A special exhibition and marketing event showcasing the talents of differently abled individuals was held on November 22nd at the Mannar Municipal Council Hall. The event, organized by Caritas Mannar Valvudayam under the theme "We Are Two Winners," was led by Reverend Father Arul Raj, the director, and inaugurated by Right Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Fernando, the Bishop of the Diocese of Mannar. The event featured inspiring art performances by differently able participants, followed by an exhibition and sale of their handmade products. Around 60 individuals showcased their work, and the event drew over 300 attendees, highlighting the contribution and creativity of the differently able community and promoting inclusivity.
The opening ceremony of Kulamangal St. Francis Xavier Church, along with consecration of the altar, was held on November 24th. The event, organized by Reverend Father Bhaskaran, the parish priest, was graced by Right Reverend Dr. Justin Gnanaprasam, the Bishop of the Diocese of Jaffna, who blessed the newly renovated church and presided over the Holy Mass. The ceremony was attended by numerous priests, nuns, and parishioners, all of whom joyfully participated in the occasion. This historic church, over 138 years old, has been beautifully renovated with the generous financial contributions from the local community and the overseas Tamil diaspora under the dedicated guidance by Reverend Father Bhaskaran.
To end the monthly news bulletin, here are the headlines once again. 31st anniversary of St. James Church bombing in Gurunagar, marked with memorial service.
Maveerar Day commemorated with reverence amid heavy rainfall.
Marainathi Catholic Media Centre celebrates 3 years of service and achievement.
Reverend Father Gnanamuththu Pilendran honored with prestigious Sahitya Award.
Diamond Jubilee inauguration of the Centre for Performing Arts celebrated with grandeur.
St. Martin's Minor Seminary celebrate annual feast and reopening after renovation.
Jaffna hosts book launch of Marainathi Yarl by Reverend Father Selvaratnam.
St. Theresa Church Consecration marks renewal of faith and unity in Kilinochchi.
Exhibition set lights on land rights struggles of displaced communities in Sri Lanka's north and east. Thank you for watching. Vanakkam.